We have video that shows the entire interaction from start to finish. His name was Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old nurse who worked in the ICU at Minneapolis VA healthcare system. And according to the police chief, he is a U.S. citizen with no prior interactions with law enforcement outside of a couple of traffic tickets, and believed to be a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. So for him to lose his life being shot multiple times by these agents, all because of him exercising his Second Amendment rights, which again, he wasn't trying to use as an intimidation tactic on the officers or anything like that. When they were beating him on the ground, pistol whipping him on the ground, they happened to see that he had a gun, apparently. He wasn't throwing it at them as like a threat or something, or brandishing it or anything. He simply had it on him, which he was well within his right to do, and he got murdered for it. This is completely unacceptable, and the fucking drones that are somehow like parading around like this is some kind of victory or something is sickening. It should be viewed as treasonous by any real Americans when you see this footage. And they had the gall to say that Alex Pretti was like the instigator, labeling him a domestic terrorist I saw from a couple of places, claiming that he approached these agents with a 9mm. He approached them with a gun looking to start shit. But that is not true. In all of the videos you see, he has a phone in his hands. Not a gun in his hands, he has a phone in his hands. No sane person would ever mistake a phone for a gun. This is blatantly obvious what they're trying to do. And it's something they've been doing a lot recently. Trying to tell you that what you're seeing isn't real. Trust their words, not your eyes. That is completely fucking outrageous, and people are willingly doing it. That's the craziest part. There are people that are like, oh, I saw he had his phone, but if they say it was a gun, well, that must have been a gun. I cannot believe we've reached this level of brainwashing. There are so many angles of this, and in every single one of them, you can see he has his phone in his hand, and at no point during this interaction did he ever, pull a gun on them or anything. And in fact, in one of the angles, you can even clearly see that the agents actually took the gun from him prior to him being shot. You can actually see what looks to be one of the agents disarming him, taking the gun out of its holster and running away with the gun prior to him being shot. And if that wasn't definitive, there is something even more clear that I think is completely irrefutable for anyone that's actually looking. An agent takes Alex's gun out of its holster in front of the agent that pulls out his gun and shoots him. So he can see the gun has been taken out of the holster. And it is clear Alex Pretti has both hands on the ground. He does not have a gun in them. And an agent reaches in and takes it out of the holster right before another agent pulls out his firearm and shoots him in the back.
Honestly.
Just in case you somehow missed it, look, the agent in gray has his hand on Alex's weapon, which is still holstered. It was never unholstered. This agent takes it out of its holster before he runs away with it, and the officer right next to him is the one that pulls out his gun and shoots him. And now I want to show you the clearest video that shows everything that happened here and how it doesn't go how the authorities are saying that it did. That was Alex Pretti you saw walk by the camera right there. He has his phone in his hand, and then with his other hand, his open hand, no gun in it, is waving cars through. There is clearly no brandishing of a firearm here. He is not approaching agents with a gun or anything like that, and you will never see anything even remotely close to that happen.
Go.
In this section, you can again see Alex Pretti has his phone in his hand, and now he's trying to get some of the civilians away from these fucking worms that are now starting to push them. And then one of them got pepper sprayed, and then he got pepper sprayed as well. And when he gets pepper sprayed, you can see his hand shoots in the air like a student about to try and ask the teacher a question. It is a wide open palm. There's no weapon in that hand, and in his other hand is still the phone. There is no gun anywhere here. And now this is when he starts getting beaten by the multiple officers there.
The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
I'm going to stop the video right here because this is when Alex Pretti gets shot to death. This fucking subhuman coward, you can see, pulls out his firearm and shoots him in the back, and then shoots him multiple times after as Alex Pretti lies on the ground. You can hear one of the agents says gun, and that's when this brain-dead troglodyte pulls out his firearm and starts shooting into Alex while he was still surrounded by his boys, mind you. This is like the antithesis to all training that agents go through, by the way, to shoot into a suspect while still being surrounded by authorities. You're going to get your own people shot too, by the way, you fucking moron, you unbelievable homunculus. So he immediately starts dumping into Alex because someone said gun. But the gun, from the other angles we can see, had already been taken away from Alex, out of his holster. You can see one of the other agents running away with it. But again, he was never brandishing this firearm. And as an American citizen with Second Amendment rights and a lawful gun owner by all available information, he was allowed to have that gun on his person. It is not grounds to execute a man because you fucking freaked out and panicked because the guy you were beating and pistol whipping with fucking 5 of your friends happened to be armed. He wasn't using it to try and like shoot anyone here or threaten them. They saw the gun, and then this guy just freaked out and murdered him. Shot him multiple times. This is indefensible. Completely indefensible.
My God. Shout out to Penguinz0, man. Jesus Christ. And this has come from a non-American. Oh no! I don't have the First Amendment. I can't understand the First Amendment because I'm not American right now. Penguinz0 I love the plot. This situation right now. Look, nah. If you took this video at face value, he is technically right about the shooting, the fact that there should be investigation on it, the fact that it looks like the guy, you know, all these things were happening. The guy was helping a nigga and then pushed Ice. Ice retaliated by going back after him and holding him down. Penguinz0 said he lie down, man. That's wrong. Even in his video, he wasn't lying down. He was crouching down. He was resisting Ice. He was crouching down. He was not lying down. He was crouching down. His knees were on the floor, not his legs. Like his knees were on the floor, not the legs. But I want to see an investigation on it. I want to see, because again, I do think that he was resisting Ice. But again, this is not me saying that Ice is in the right here. I do think that when the guy was taken away, the guy shooting him was unnecessary. I do think there should be investigation. I'm not saying the investigation should be on Team Wall's side, and I want to see the investigation to really just definitively prove the facts. But here's the problem with Penguinz0's argument here. Why he is right to say of all these things, the video in itself is wrong because of context. It is wrong because of context. Because this thing did not just spawn overnight. Did not just spawn overnight. It didn't. This whole issue and the escalation aspect of it did not just spawn overnight. Ice reasoning to then like go hard on this guy didn't just spawn overnight. It did not just happen overnight. This was an escalation problem that was happening throughout the days. People early on, even Tim Walz, the guy, I don't know why people talk about Tim Walz and the scams in Minnesota. Like, the guy literally is saying, oh, please protest, but not telling the citizens to let ICE do their job. ICE, keep in mind, ICE have to go extra hard because Tim Walz is not doing anything for them. They talk about how police is there to help them and this and that to help them there. But keep in mind, even in that video, where was the police? Where was the Minnesota police? No, where was the police of Minneapolis? Where was the police of Minneapolis to escalate the issue? The guy was blocking the road early on. You know, beep, 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 beep. What are you doing? Why is the guy blocking the road? ICE is pushing them away to make sure they get out of the road. Yeah, listen right now. The shooting was. You could argue just right now. I'm leaning towards him saying correctly. That's true right now. But the fact is right now, like this whole thing was not just that it happened now. It was not just it happened now. This was escalating. The day Minnesota chose not to comply with ICE was the day this shit went worse. The funny thing is that, keep in mind right now, you talk about how carrying a gun is what do you call it? Like carrying a gun is part of the Second Amendment right. I do know understand that as well, But the problem is, keep in mind this context here. Why do you have a gun in a peaceful protest? No. Listen, keep in mind, why do you have a gun in a peaceful protest? I want to understand that question for a second right now. Like, you have a gun. Who's gonna hurt you? ICE is federal agents, If you do what do you call it? Stop down and stay down there, ICE will arrest you. If your only opponent is ICE, a federal agent, a federal officer right now, why are you carrying a gun? For what? For who? And who encouraged you to have a gun? Who encouraged you to go out there and start protesting? Maybe Tim Walz? Maybe the mayor of fucking Minnesota? I don't know. But hey, it's brainwashing. I do think yes, the people on the right now should ask for investigation, ask for body cams. They shouldn't just completely say, oh, this and that. But it's so odd that in Florida, where you live, buddy boy, in Texas, that none of this has happened to the degree it's happening in Minnesota. And I want to answer the question: why is it happening so heavily in Minnesota? Keep in mind right now, Renee good situation all these situations happen because they some level of resistance. But again, in the situation with the guy who died right now, I do think ICE fucked up. I'm saying that right now. I think ICE fucked up. I do think that's why I want investigation to say, okay, if ICE did this shit bad and they fucked up, then they should get arrested or something like that. I do think that's the case because ICE do fuck up. They do. You mean they fuck up right now. But the problem I have is that Penguinz0 doesn't see it through the context. This was not a once in a lifetime issue. This whole carrying a gun right thing and again, keep in mind, Florida is a gun carrying state. Why are we not seeing a lot of this thing happen in Florida? Why are we not seeing a lot of this shit happen in Florida? No, keep in mind, there's only been 2 deaths so far, and God bless their souls. Even though one was stupid and the other one was a little bit like unclear, right? The one with the currently is unclear right now. Even though those things happen right now, both supposed to be arrested. God bless their souls right now. Even though those happen right now, why isn't the shit happening in Florida? Why isn't the same shit happening in a guns-carrying state like Florida? Maybe because the media's hiding it? Oh no. Ooh. Or maybe because the federal officers are complying with ICE and making it easier for ICE to do their job. I know, because maybe you should tell me, man. Maybe you should tell me as an American. Maybe you should tell me. Because again, keep in mind, like, ICE going in and get people, ask people for identification, all this right now, is only because Tim Walz doesn't do anything about it. Tim Walz can easily help ICE to get this thing over with. But no, instead of blaming Tim Walz for pushing this shit over, and I'll even say blame Trump for actively not employing the military guard to be able to get these things done faster right now. We're saying, oh no, it's ICE's fault because they shouldn't they killed a nigga who was carrying a gun. Now keep in mind, again, I'm not saying he's wrong here. And even then he jumped to the Epstein files. Come on, Monsieur, come on, man. And again, I agree with him on the Epstein files too. I agree with him. But what are you talking about? ICE's job is not to arrest niggas who have the Epstein files. The job is to deport illegal immigrants. You know this, bro. You know this. You're American. You know this right now. ICE's job is to deport illegal immigrants, not deal with fucking, pedophiles in the fucking state. If you want to complain to people who are also complain to Pem Bondi, Cash Patel. Let's complain to those guys. FBI. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, again, that's people you should complain to. Like, again, even Trump should go and Trump. Why anger ICE? Or say ICE should go there. Like, ICE's job is to deal with illegal immigrants. And keep in mind, states like Florida and Texas, it's a lot more easier to deal with them there. ICE is everywhere right now. But why is it only in Minnesota specifically that we're having this escalation of issues? Why only in Minnesota specifically do we have an escalation issues, Penguinz0? Come on, tell me, bro. This whole thing, it is say, oh, it's clear cut because I shot the guy because the guy carried a gun, right? Again, I'm not saying that the guy should also do. I think the guy should also get investigation on it as well. But the problem I have is that the context is important here. The escalation didn't happen in a day. This did not happen in a day. ICE is only escalating because the thing is no one's there to help them. There's no Minneapolis police to help it calm down the situation. People are the same people who are, you're saying or the guy incident are blocking roads, are literally top people from top people who claim the people are ICE when they're not ICE. The amount of evidence to show that people are now taking laws into their own hands by blocking the roads in Minnesota. Like, what are you doing here? ICE is doing a job. Let ICE do their job. And again, keep in mind, like, he said, like, most of the niggas who are captured are illegals. The only reason why it's harder because people are impeding ICE, which is a federal crime. I don't know what to say right now, like, because again, the video was correct in a bubble. It's correct, but because of context, it's really important. Epstein files aside, again, that whole get these arrested from the top. Again, I agree with everything he said in the video right now. I personally think this investigation, I don't really think it was a clear cut. I think it was a mistake rather than a clear cut violent murder. I think it was more of like there's a lot more moving parts in that situation specifically. I think that there are a lot more moving parts there, but I do not believe it was just a premeditated attack. And even Curtis is a matter here, Minnesota has not been an easy area at all. Riots has been happening constantly. And this was before Renee Good and the guy who got shot right now. This niggas have been escalating the issue tenfold. And keep in mind, like, why isn't the same thing happening in Florida? Why isn't the same thing happening in a gun state like Florida? Why isn't the same level of ICE going and shooting niggas happening in Florida? Keep that in mind, Penguinz0. You have a gun, you carry a gun, yes, great, awesome, right now. I also want to carry a gun when we get to America, but keep in mind, like, why is it not happening in a gun carry state like Florida? Maybe because ICE is cooperating with the federal law enforcement. Maybe because ICE is doing the job. Again, mistakes happen. That's the nature of the job. I get it. I'm not saying that the guy is on the right here. I'm saying that, listen, context is important here. The escalation could have happened because the issues the surrounding area of Minneapolis have been escalating for days and days now. People are protesting. People are blocking roads. Not police. People are blocking roads. Stopping ICE from doing their job. But you're calling those people out. You're saying, hey, guys, please protest. Keep in mind, why is the guy who is trying to deal with ICE carrying, again, I'm not saying you should or should not, but why carry a gun when your job is to peacefully protest? Context is important here, Penguinz0. Context is important here. I'm not trying, this is not a defame, defraud. I think bro is really misinformed. Because again, if it was in isolation, it all made sense, like, oh yeah, this is bad and everything, but context is very important. If you've been keeping up with the news for a very long time, it's been going bad in Minneapolis in a while. People have been saying that ICE is a domestic terror, like mass agents are taking people's home. And keep in mind, the reason why they're even hiding the mask is because people like you even say that, like, doxing people is bad. But ICE is doing a job, but people are doxing ICE. People are requiring them to dox ICE. Isn't that what you also advocate to not do? The reason why people are wearing masks is to not get doxed. The job is to take away illegal immigrants that are struggling because people are making it hard for them. In Florida and Texas, it's not the same level of things not happening at all because they're working with the federal agents. But keep in mind, it's only happening in Minneapolis. Why? Tim Walz is saying no. Fucking the mayor of Minneapolis saying no. They're helping them. Because you even see a Minneapolis police in that video, in the videos we've seen in general. Where are the Minneapolis police? Where are they? Where are they helping ICE to get these things out? Where are they? No answer to the question. Ironically, it's like, bro, you spoke on doxing niggas, on how doxing is bad. Why do you think ICE is wearing a fucking mask? Because they're doxing niggas. They are. Niggas have families and they're doxing niggas. ICE's job is to deport illegal immigrants. Even if people want to protest, I'm not saying don't protest, I'm saying this right now. But why do you want them to wear a mask when the job is to deport illegal immigrants? Why do you want them to move the mask? Why? They have the ICE labels clearly shown on the chest. So what do you need the thing for? Maybe yes, they need a number, like Edmund Gold, right? They need a number to identify themselves right now. But the problem I have is, like, listen, if we are looking at the Penguinz0 video from face value, it is bad, wrong, and this right now. And truthfully, I want an investigation to really say, because I do agree with Penguinz0 in isolation. But the problem is, looking at the perspective, looking at the wider angle, you do see its whole argument falls apart. Even the Epstein argument as well, because again, ICE's job is to deport illegal immigrants. From what I can see, Trump not illegal immigrant. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but I don't think Trump is an illegal immigrant. You know what I mean? I do have my complaints with Trump with the Epstein file. I do. But the problem I have here is that, bro, where are you getting this from, bro? Again, I'm not saying the guy who got shot is like is like the guy who shot the guy is correct. It's correct. Great, awesome job. Awesome job. No, right? This context to be applied here. I want to know if he did or not. I want to know if it was I think it was a mistake, in my opinion, but I want to see it. Because it's very important. The fact is, right now, escalation has been happening for days. And keep in mind again, in a gun character like Florida, why isn't the same shit happening in Florida? No, keep in mind. Why is it in a gun character like Florida, this shit not happening to the degree it's happening in Minneapolis? I don't know, guys. Maybe because they comply, the officers comply with the law, and Minneapolis officers don't comply with the law. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Maybe, I don't know, man. But I know those who hate on this video, it's fine. I don't mind it. Again, my conclusion right now to come to Penguinz0's thing that Penguinz0's video in isolation, it looks factual in isolation, but context is important here. There was escalation to come up to this point. It wasn't that this just happened out of nowhere. And keep in mind, like I've not seen any videos at all about from Penguinz0 talk about how these niggas who are against ICE are literally blocking roads and literally calling people like fucking like Nazis who are not even like part of ICE or working with ICE at all. Oh, but they're fine. No, they're fine. No, they're fine. You know, only this issue is bad. I'm not saying it's not bad. Again, keep in mind, I'm saying it's bad. But I'm just saying, like, listen, bro, context is important here. I'm not saying the guy shouldn't get, like, you know, arrested if he found guilty. I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying, like, listen, context is important here. The escalation has been happening for days. And keep in mind, again, I'm saying, like I always say this one, Florida and Texas, none of this is happening in the biggest gun terror states in the entire world, like entire America, in Florida and Texas, the same level of what happened today, what happened at that time, had not happened in Florida and or Texas. Why is that? And again, keep in mind, it's happening from ICE, or border officers like Pretti said. Why isn't the same level of shit happening in Florida or Texas? Keep that in mind when you are making a video next time, man. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, listen, bro, you were seeing this event unfold, but there was no clear-cut argument. It was just one side bad and like, okay. Because again, like, I would understand, like, again, I understand the argument of people are jumping to conclusions like too fast. I would say ICE is right. Again, I do not know. I want to see investigation. But context is very important here. This was not a case that just got, you know, escalated like this in days. This was a build-up that happened, like, and got worse. It was a build-up, a very big build-up. And I want people to keep in mind as well, why do you have a gun in a people protest? Now, I'm not saying you should carry a gun. I'm not saying no. But why you carry a gun in a people protest? If your job is to be peacefully protest, why would you bring a gun? Just my 2 cents. Now, I'm not saying you should go and shot because of it. I'm not saying you should go shot of it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why did he bring a gun? Because again, when they de-armed him, then they shot him. That's what the video showed me. I don't know. All I'm saying is that, listen, I do think it was a bit of an escalation from the ICE part. And I don't want to see an investigation on it. But the problem is, why bring a gun to a people protest? I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying, why did you bring a gun to the people protest? Man, I don't know what we have. Like when it comes to politics, it's like half and half. Because like, on one hand, I want to like believe him, but like the problem is like it's not really pulling Admin Gold vibes. Admin Gold, like I like Admin Gold is the fact that he goes and sees both sides. He sees because only focuses on one side, which is like a ISIS bad side, which again like whatever you want to say, whatever, I don't care right now. But then not looking at the other angles of why this is happening or why it's only specifically Minnesota which is having this escalation, not in Florida, not in Texas, not in a few Democratic states who are actually complying with the officers. Why is it that in states where people police is complying with ICE, that's happening, or minimal is happening? Why is that? Why is it only in Minneapolis? I'll wait for the answer. I'll wait for answers to the conversation below. But like, these are the questions I would love people to answer. Not this whole thing of like, oh yeah, ICE. I know this is not a good situation for the ICE agent. I'm not saying it's good, but the problem is that like again, he's also right to say that like people are jumping to conclusions. Let's wait for the investigation to come to a conclusion. I do think that ICE fucked up here. My opinion. I do think ICE fucked up here. But again, Penguinz0, like I need context, bro. Like you're not giving enough context here. The only context is that ICE fucked up here. That's it. Not the fact that it's been escalating for days. Not the fact that the people themselves are also fucking up. Why are you blocking roads? Why are you beating ICE doing their job? It's like this is not just a simple clear-cut case that it makes it seem. Alright? That's what I'm trying to say here. I think Penguinz0 a lot of plot in his institution. I'm not saying it's wrong here. I'm saying that in isolation, he's right about a few things. I want everything to be able to like prove him to be right. I don't know, but again, aside from that, context is very important here. The escalation was not something that happened overnight. This was a day built, many days of build up. And keep in mind, I'm saying again, I said it a lot of times. Why is it only happening in Minneapolis and not in Florida and not in Texas? It's my accent. All right. After the context, what you try to look at a different perspective. I'm not using my champion without all the thoughts, pieces of the opinions. I'm going to show a different perspective, basically. Again, keep in mind, I'm not from America. I'm planning to go to America. I'm planning to get like my shit to go to America. I'm a big Trump fan. But I still want Trump to beat every file. I think everybody would. Because if basically watch this video and might say, oh, I'm just a Trump dick rider. Listen, right? I'm not gonna joke and say I'm not. I am, but I don't empty files out. I still call out Trump a lot. If you check my history of videos, I've called out Trump a lot of times. So again, I have. But hey man, let me know what you guys think. You guys think I'm on crime with alcohol, or you guys think I'm on something. Again, my problem with your video is the fact that I want context. There's no context around it. This is why I like Edmund Gold videos, because again, it gives you context about everything. It gave you the video, it gave you context about both sides, Tim Moore's side and the IC side. It gave you every side to make it come to your conclusion. Because you just give you a snippet, not the whole thing. But Edmund Gold has been covering this shit since the beginning. But Penguinz0 comes in now without any context to the issues that happen in Minnesota. So this is why I'm saying Penguinz0 has lots of plots, in my opinion. Have a great day, guys. Yeah, I'm doing having lunch. Trade for subscribers. I love you. Have a good day. Peace.